Hey, welcome to the round table on a square table. Say what? This is where we're going to sit down with Vitruvian Health team members, trainers, myself, unpacking their training plans. Why are they doing what they do? Let's find out. What are the techniques or tips that we could implement right here, right now in our own training experiences? Look at their client success stories, what they've been doing to get people the results, so then you can use that information to help improve your own training, improve your own nutrition, or hack the system, and then also improving your lifestyle literally from this episode. So take notes and enjoy, and let's go. Welcome to episode 115 on the round table on a square table. This episode is brought to you, are you sore after a workout? You may be doing it wrong. So let's dive into this episode where we're going to talk to you about DOMS. And if you're sore from something else, maybe you want to speak to your local GP about that. So delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS as we call it, or the acronym for it, is when you train your body close to failure or you exceed your volume or lift a heavier weight. What does that really mean? Well, whenever we stress our body out, so think if you've had a big day at work, you're going to yawn, you're going to stretch yourself out, and then up you get, and then off you go back to work. And then you go to sleep, you wake up, you're feeling a bit tired or lethargic. Well, that's what happens when your body does more than what it's capable of. Though if you were to do this for weeks and weeks on end, you might get used to this posture, you might get used to the yawning, or you might just wake up like that all the time, and that becomes the new norm. Same thing with training, is that we get used to what's known as the stressor or the weight that we lift. So if we think of a bicep curl, we pick it up, we put it down, we pick it up, we put it down, and we do that for 3 sets of 10 reps. Say we're doing 5 kilos. 3 things will happen. 1, we will be in debilitating pain. We're like, oh, it's just too much. It hurts so much. And then we actually can't, pick up a piece of paper and we're like, ah. That is obviously what we don't want to be, because if we're in that much pain, it's going to affect performance later on in the next day and the day after that. The second thing that can happen is you get a bit of DOMS where you'll pick up and you'll be like, oh, I'll feel it, but you still have relative function. And that tends to happen, there's a bit of stress on the muscle. That can be a little bit or enough. Everyone's kind of got their range on that one. And that is kind of what we're all looking for to a degree. The third one is you don't really feel anything, and it is what it is. The question that you would ask yourself is, did you lift heavy or did you progress in that session anyway? And if you're like, yeah, I did, but I just don't feel sore, awesome. Then you're the lucky person that doesn't have delayed onset muscle soreness. But number 1, 2, and number 3, what happens is we stress the body out and it needs a point of adaptation. If we were to think of it, we dig a bit of a crevice. That's where we cause the stress or the trauma to the muscle, and there's an adaptation window that occurs where we build a little bit of muscle, get a little bit stronger. So DOMS and not feeling anything is kind of what we're looking for, is just that little bit of adaptation. If we do too much, we're like, oh, it hurts, but it's kind of this badge of honor for a lot of people, like, oh, I got DOMS. Just means you made a big cradle, and it just requires more effort to get out of. And the thing is, most people train maybe 3, 4, or 5 times a week, but if you need a week to recover from that, the next time you train, you're just creating a bigger stressor, and that's a concern. The other thing to know about this is delayed onset muscle soreness, or protein synthesis or muscle building. Everyone's a little bit different. So you could be doing 3 sets of 10 with 5 kilos, and you feel totally fine. I do it, I'm super sore on biceps. But when we do triceps, you're like, oh, my triceps are killing. And for me, for triceps, I'm totally fine. So muscle groups can also have a rate of adaptation, and everybody is different. So for me, when I train biceps, I don't tend to really feel my biceps. Train triceps, I'll feel my triceps the next day. Eddie does biceps, he's like, oh, my arms are killing. My triceps, they're fine. So we do this, like Eddie and I do the same volume, we both are on the same program, and so his muscles can handle that tricep a little bit better, my biceps handle a little bit better. So much to its own. So let's dive into delayed onset muscle soreness a little bit more. So Karl, you're talking about stressors or volume. What does that really mean? So if you were to look at a program in a given work day, so let's say we train on Monday and we're going to do legs for 5 sets and we're going to do biceps for 5 sets. Now, there are 3 different rep targets you can hit. You've got the heavy ones, maybe doing 5 to 8 reps. Then you've got the in-between, which is kind of the gold standard that everyone uses, which is 8 to 15 reps. And then you've got muscular endurance, where you're doing 20 reps plus. All 3 of rep targets have different stimulus, but let's just say you pick one. So we do 5 sets on quads and 5 sets on biceps. We're doing 5 to 8 reps. Cool. So we're lifting some heavy weight, so there's more tension per rep. We're going to do that. Now, person 1, they get up the next day, they're totally fine. Person 2, they're quite sore. Now, it could be that maybe they went heavier than last week, or maybe the week before they did 4 sets and now they did 5 sets, so they overreached. That typically occurs when there's a 10% increase in volume or total tonnage. Total tonnage? Total tonnage, if you were to do, say, 10 kilos for 10 reps, that would be a total tonnage of 100 kilos. Now, if we were to do 12 reps, that's 120 kilos, so that could be you exceeding total tonnage. So this is where maybe like week 1 you're really sore, week 2 you're sore, and then week 3 you're not as sore because you've adapted to the weight and the sets, but now it's just the repetitions. So that's how we break that up. Now, Wednesday comes around, person A does the same thing, but they lift heavier. They're still not sore. Person B, they do the exact same weight, and then the next day, Thursday, they're not sore as much. And that's because they didn't exceed or push themselves harder. They've just adapted to that stimulus. Maybe they put on a bit of muscle, maybe they got a little bit stronger. I'm not 100% sure because we don't do a body comp assessment to track all that for them, but if we did, we would pinch them, see where their body fat's at, see how the body's holding on, what's going on at a deeper level, or we just look at the data and see how they feel, or just ask them, hey, how did you feel you went on Monday? Now, I was pretty sore Monday. That affected me on how I trained it on Wednesday. Cool. So instead of pushing themselves again, they held back that little bit. And that's okay, because the thing is, if they were progressing each week rather than every session, they'd still be progressing. And that's the thing to be mindful of. Now, if it came Friday and person A goes, cool, instead of 5 sets, we're going to mix it up. I'm going to do 4 sets of lunges and 4 sets of squats. They've now gone from a total of 5 sets on quads to now 8 sets. So if the next day they're sore, well, it's because they did more volume. Sometimes what can happen is, that would be if they kept the weight the same. So a lot of time people go, well, I did more volume, Karl, and nothing changed. It's like, yeah, but if you were doing, say, usually a 100 kilo back squat and 50 kilo lunges, and then you went 90 kilo squats, 45 kilos lunges, or as a gentleman we had in today, he goes, well, actually, usually I go, to 100, then I go 95, 90, and 85, so I can do all my sets and keep get strong first and then taper off because I can't handle it. I'm like, well, technically, you only did 1 true working set and you had to back off because you were so fatigued, so you could keep that sort of intensity up. So his total tonnage would have dropped, where if he'd given himself a little bit more rest, he could have added more weight. So if you're not sore that time, well, it's because the total tonnage itself declined. Even though they did more sets, overall maybe as through a wash, the total tonnage is actually the same or just a little bit more, even though you did 3 extra sets. Again, person dependent to look at. Like personally, my biggest gripe with delayed onset muscle soreness, and this is what I think that everyone's doing wrong, is they're always pushing to failure. They're annihilating themselves, and it's just like, if you're not sore, you're doing it wrong. It's like, well, that's like saying, like to a guy, if you don't get kicked in the nuts, you're not progressing in life. It's like, really? So, and a lot of people are like, well, that's silly. Yeah, well, so is being so sore that you can't function the next day. Like, everyone thinks, everyone compares themselves to athletes. Like an athlete, their job is to train hard. But the thing is, we only see typically athletes when they're at their peak. And the thing is, like the Olympic athletes, they don't peak top level every year. It's 4 years. Olympics are every 4 years that they have a huge peak period. So really, like, there's peaks in their training, but they're not going 100% max effort. They're actually just peaking themselves up, tapering it down, peaking themselves up, tapering it down. And yet, when it comes to like training in gyms, people think they've got to peak themselves every week. Like, damn. Like, just stop. Like, yeah, people like they've got work, they've got stress, and then they're like, oh, I can't lift heavier. And so then they force themselves to push themselves harder, and they get injured. Like, look, it's great business for me because then these people work with me and then I get them better and we educate them. But the thing to remember is the fundamentals when it comes to training is progressive overload, increasing reps, load, sets, time under tension, controlling that movement. If you're so sore that you can't control and you rush, back off the weight. Because obviously slower tempo or like going a little bit smoother through the movement with a lighter weight, that's going to stimulate blood flow. And that could actually have you doing higher rep ranges, which is another stimulus to lead to hypertrophy. So blessing and a curse, but most people just keep going heavier. So that's the gripe I have with it. Time and attention, controlled full range of motion. If you're so sore that you can't even get that full range, well then you're not putting the muscle through a full stretch. You're then not going to strengthen end range of motion, ligaments, tendons. So it's like, again, yeah, you can rush it and shorten the muscle just to lift that weight, but now the future of you're sacrificing longevity. So again, that's another concern. No pain. Well, if you're so sore, you've already failed the 4 fundamentals by being in pain. So if anyone that's looking for a strategy, really just look at a given workout, hit 2 different angles. So you might do short header bicep and then you do long header bicep. You can do that over the 2 days, or you can combine it together if you've got the time. But if you're short on time, I would do say a lat pull down. So I've got my bicep going into a shortened position through here, and then I do some incline curls with a big stretch. And then I'm doing bench press, so tricep in a shortened position, and then I'm doing overhead tricep extension as well. So you can hit the pec and the triceps across the given workout and hit all angles of the shoulder. Now, Karl, what if I don't want to listen? Just give me the goods. Just tell me how I can get better. For those that feel like they have to annihilate themselves, and a lot of people I really need to have a stretch. Well, if you're so sore, go for a walk, stimulate blood flow, go cycling. A lot of time people say do a big stretch and hold it out. I'd say do light stretching or mobility drills, because movement is what's going to help regulate and get blood flow. You could even go as far as to say, whatever the workout was, let's say it was Monday, you're going to do that same workout, exact same workout. If you did 5 to 8 reps, now push for 20 to 24 reps. So that's high rep work. That's going to get good pump, good blood flow into there, and that'll help with recovery and blood flow and connective tissue. You could also do an active recovery session. Say what? Active recovery. It's really just doing the same workout, like I just said, but you're doing more actively, so it's not going to failure. Because the thing is, all of these things with active recovery, it's going to help blood flow. Blood contains nutrients, oxygen, vitamins, minerals. Yes, when you eat food, it breaks down, it digests, it goes into your bloodstream, your body will bring that in. That's what's going to help heal. The second thing is that will support with blood flow is prioritizing protein. Protein breaks down into amino acids. Amino acids create what's known as hyperaminoacidemia. Hyperaminoacidemia is where your body is flush with aminos. Typically happens after your second protein-rich meal. Protein-rich meal, yep. So, if we think of a chart like this is optimal, this is you haven't eaten, you're in a fasted state, you eat protein about 30 to 40 grams per meal. That comes up. Now, if you're a 40-gram female, then great, you're at optimal. But for most of us, we're sitting probably about 70 up to 110, maybe 60. So you actually need a little bit more protein. Now, you could do a 100-gram macro protein meal first. It's a lot of food to start your day. You'd feel a bit sluggish. So good standard portion is 30 to 40 grams. 3-4 hours later, so your amino acids tip up. They'll start to taper down. You eat another meal, it comes up. And so it tapers up around that 70, 80 gram mark. So by the second meal, you're in a hypoaminoacidemia state. Now, if you're like me, I eat a meal first, then I do an amino shake because it's easier on digestion. That's when I'm training. So I kind of get that aminoacidemia window sooner. And that's going to help with recovery, getting those aminos into the muscle to help it with healing, recovery, and repair. It helps with DNA, cellular growth, hair, nails. I know it's not working for all of it, but hey, I shave my head, so it's a choice. The thing is, the body won't prioritize muscle growth over cellular function and energy. So if you're building muscle, it means that the other areas of the body are working pretty nicely. So yeah, hyperaminoacidemia, that's why we prioritize protein. If you wanted to work out the number, just go 2 grams, 2 times your body weight. So if you're 100 grams, you need 200 grams of protein. I like to eat 4 meals a day, so I just divide that by 4, 50-gram protein meals. That's what I would do. Well, Karl, I don't have enough time in the morning. Cool. Do a 30-gram shake in the morning and just push your protein up in the evening. Lastly is massage. Can it really help? You could get a massage. I recommend a therapeutic massage. A lot of people want deep tissue, but it's like pushing in as hard as you can. You're then causing more trauma. You want something that's it's called effortlessly petrissage. It's just stimulate and flow. You could we went to a place the other day called Soak Bathhouse. Bathhouse, they use mineral pools, magnesium, baths, and heat and cold therapy. So that's going to contract, relax the muscles to stimulate that.
Could you say that again? You kind of mumbled that.
Soak Bathhouse?
Before that. You said something.
Active recovery?
After that?
Massage, effleurage, petrissage.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
What's that one?
Effleurage, so it just means like it's like circular motions to stimulate blood flow. Effleurage. Yeah. So you like stimulate, it's like doing circles or choking the muscle. That's going to be a funny meme for you, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to, yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. So a lot of the time when people go to do deep tissue massage, it's like they'll go dig their elbow in and people will be like, oh, and then they'll look to release it. And the problem with that is, like, it has a place. It definitely has a place, but the thing is, if you're so beat up that you then go pay to get beat up, that when is the time that you actually relax? Like, so many people will get trigger point, they'll be like, oh, and they'll tighten up in their upper body, but now you're causing a problem upstream. So it's like, and there's a lot so I know, like, Dr. Mason, Luke Ross, Zach, Sports Lab, you've got David Morgan-Smith, I can't remember what company he works in. These are some great therapists, there's plenty out there. I know Anita Gage is another one they've used. Great therapists because they have a good combination. They push hard, they push you hard, but they also know when to back off, because the thing is, if you're so braced and locked, it causes an upstream problem or a downstream problem. A good therapist has the ability to push really hard because we can, but then backs off because the body is trying to fight you. It's that fine line. So many times people will get remedial, like, oh, so good, they beat me up. I'm like, no, because then it causes a problem elsewhere. And I find I'm the one that has to tend to work on it and fix their session, and then they're like, that wasn't a good workout. I'm like, well, if you didn't pay to get beat up, we wouldn't have been here. So yeah, looking to restore movement, not restrict it. Like, honestly, if you were looking at recovery and supporting your body, there's like, number one, anyone that's got dysfunction or movement issues, then finding a good practitioner, chiro, osteophysician is definitely going to help. If you're looking at like just a stimulating blood flow and recovery, then good therapeutic practitioner is quite good. And if you're on a budget, which I honestly prefer myself, I just get a Theragun into the leg because you can control that. And also just doing a bit of movement in yoga at night, because you then don't have to, like, for some people it's winter, it's like 11 degrees, so like having to get onto the street, walking to find someone. And like there's a lot of therapeutic practitioners or Thai massage places, and not all of them are the best. So like take the initiative, take control into your own hands. So it's a very open-ended question on that one. But number one, find someone you trust, that you're happy with them touching your body, and or get your partner to massage you. Though really, if you're not going to massage your partner, don't get them to massage you. Like, be nice. Do some yoga together. You can do saunas, cold plunges. I'm not convinced. There's like, people will say the research on the sauna, like cold plunges is better. Honestly, like, whichever one you enjoy. Like, hot showers are really nice. I like cold. So think of, it's called contrast therapy. So you like, your body would contract and relax the muscles. So you could do like 1 minute hot, 1 minute cold, 1 minute hot, 1 minute cold. A lot of people say, well, the research says you should do like cold therapy to finish. Like, would you rather be miserable? No? Then finish on hot. I like to finish on cold. That's my personal preference. But for anyone out there listening, it's like, really just stop training failure, work close to failure, increase your volume over time. It's a lot easier. It's not as painful. 2, 3, train through full range of motion. 4, protein-rich meals. 5, find a good massage therapist to work with that's not going to beat you up. And if you don't have one, hey, come to Vitruvian Health. We'll do some ART or therapeutic massage on you, get your body moving. Because the goal of a massage therapist, is to restore movement to the body, not cripple you. A lot of people feeling they need to be beat up, and heck, we know a lot of people to work with that can help you. So, till next time, stop training like an idiot, start lifting smart, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy.